In this video, we'll begin to look at review problems for the second marking period. We start out with Chapter 3, Section 3 on functions. With functions, there's a few basic things that you need to understand. F of x is just another way of saying y. Now, why would we do that? Well, the function notation offers us a few things. For example, if we want to ask what is y when x is a certain number, then we can write it this way. Let's say we wanted to know what is y when x is -2, as in the problem we're about to do. We can write it this way. We can say when x is -2, then y is equal to something. So that's the second thing that we want to see, is that f of x means that the value of y is going to be determined by whatever x is a function of x. Is based on what x is. You give me an x, I'll take that x, do something with it, and give you back a result. So if I want to know what the value of y is when x is -2, I say f of -2. Now, another thing that we'll be looking at is we want to find out what is the value of x when y is a particular number, such as 18. If we know how to define y, or f of x, then we can ask the question, what is y when x is -18? So these are the three main types of questions that, or types of things we need to be able to, the things that we need to know about function notation. All right, so let's start with the first. All right, so the first question says evaluate the function when x is -2, 0, and 5. So what we want to find out is what is f of -2? Well, f of -2 just means where you see x in the function definition, replace it with -2. So f of -2 means -2 plus 6, which is 4. F of 0 means 0 plus 6, and that's equal to 6. And f of 5 means 5 plus 6, and that is equal to 11. So we evaluate the function when x is -2, 0, and 5. The second function, b of x, is equal to 18 minus 0.5x. That means you give me an x, and what the function b does is it multiplies it by a half and then subtracts that result from 18. So f of b rather, here b of -2 means 18 minus 0.5 times -2. 0.5 times -2, you can type that right into your calculator like that, but half, -0.5 times -2 is 1, 18 minus 0.5 times -2 is 18 plus 1, which is 19. b of 0 means 18 minus 0.5 times 0, which is 18 minus 0 is 18. And b of 5 means 18 minus 0.5 times 5. We know that half of 5 is 2.5, and so we have 18 minus 2.5, which is 15.5. So that's what we mean by evaluate the function when x is a certain number. We just replace x with that value. Next, number 13, we want to find the value of x this time so that the function has the given value. Before, we were finding what y is when x has a certain value. In this case, we want to find out what x is when y has a certain value. So since the function definition is h of x equals -7x, we want to find out for what value of x will that equal 63. And so the easiest way to set that up is simply this. Remember, both of them are h of x, so we can set them equal to each other. And negative 7x is equal to 63. That's all it's saying. If the function definition is negative 7 times x, for what value of x will that equal 63? So we just ask the question, negative 7x equals 63. Solve for x, dividing both sides by negative 7, and we get x is equal to negative 9. All right, and the final question on this from this set is, similarly, what happens if the function definition k of x is 6x minus 12? For what value of x will that function be 18? And we simply write 6x minus 12 is 18 when x is what? Solve for x. So we're going to add 12 to both sides, and we get 6x is equal to 30. 6 times 5 is 30, so x is equal to 5. All right, then with number 19 and 20, what we're trying to do is the same exact thing, but instead of being given a function definition, we're given a graph. And we want to find out what the value of x is when f of x equals 7. That means when y is 7. So that's simply asking, what is the value of x when y is 7? So if we were to start at 7 and go over to the graph, we can see that the x value is 5. We would simply say x equals 5, or f of 5 is equal to 7. So find the value of x so that f of x is 7, f of 5 is 7. In number 20, same thing. We're going to start at 7, which is up here, go across to hit the graph, then come down from there, and we can see that x is equal to negative 3, or we can say f of negative 3 is equal to 7. Number 21. The function c of x is equal to 17.5x minus 10 represents the cost in dollars of buying x tickets to the orchestra with a $10 coupon. How much does it cost to buy 5 tickets? Well, what we're asking is, what is the cost of 5 tickets? What is c of 5? And what that tells us to do is simply replace x with 5 and carry out the calculations. So 17.5 times 5, and that is 87.5. Then minus 10 is 77.5, or $77.50. So again, that's just like what we were doing above. That was asking the question, what is y when x is 5? Now with part B, we're going to reverse that. We're going to say, what is x when y is 130? Which means, in this case, how many tickets can you buy with $130? So we're asking the question, c of x is equal to 17.5x. We don't know how many tickets there will be. We need to buy 17.5x minus 10, but that has to equal $130. So we're going to add 10 to both sides. 17.5x is equal to 140, and 140 divided by 17.5 is equal to 8. So we can buy 8 tickets and with $130, or 5 tickets cost $77.50. So I hope this is clear. We're either asking the question, how much does 5 tickets cost, or how many tickets can we buy with $130? What is y when x is a certain value, or what is x when y is a certain value? Okay, so then we have one final problem from this section, and it says the function c of x equals 25x plus 50 represents the labor cost in dollars for certified remodeling to build a deck, where x is the number of labor hours of labor. Then the table on the right shows sample labor costs for its main competitor, Master Remodeling. And the deck is estimated to take 8 hours of labor. Which company would you hire, and explain? All right, so with the first, where we're given a function, remember that if c of x is equal to 25x, where x is the number of hours, plus 50, if you think the job is going to take 8 hours, we substitute x equals 8 and ask c of 8 is what? And when we do, 25 times 8 is 200. And then plus 50 is going to give us $250. So the first company would charge $250. Now, how would we know with the second company? Well, we have the cost for 2 hours, for 4 hours, for 6 hours, and we're simply going to look for a pattern there. And the pattern is we go up by 30 for every 2 hours. And so if we wanted to get to 8 hours, we're simply going to then add another 30 onto 190, and we should get $220. So it appears then that Master Remodeling, this would be Master, and so Master Remodeling is going to be the cheaper, is going to be the company we would hire because they are $30 cheaper. Of course, that doesn't say anything about how good they do the job, but that's where it's left. All right, so we'll stop this video here, and that does it for the first section of the test review. Chapter 3, Section 3 on functions, function notations, finding the value of a function for a certain x value, finding the certain x value when the function has a value. All right.